Fellas, it's no mistake, no coincidence that both these guys are legends, but it's also no coincidence that both these guys, obviously known for their production at some point in time before they turned their favoritism towards the microphone, they worked with a lot of the same artists throughout the years. I mean, both have, name a list of guys that have had the joy of working with the Kanyes and the Pharrells in the game. Their budgets allow so. Remember, it's very much a budget-driven game, if you will. One guy, one of the biggest, but I'm gonna go as far as saying he got no budget, has legendary music from both of these guys. I'm talking about none other than the legend himself, JayZ, aka Jehovah, aka Iceberg Slim, Rockefeller's own Jason
Carter.
Needless to say, he's one of the biggest in the game. And I'm not even talking about hip-hop, I'm talking about the game, period. So getting any kind of production work on this guy's project's pretty big deal, needless to say. But I asked the gentleman in the room, when we're talking about JayZ's involvement, Kanye West versus Pharrell, who had the better JayZ records? I'm not pitting this one record against another. There's too many to go through. So why don't we play a little bit of music? Something we haven't got a chance to do in the last few episodes. We've been speaking our minds a lot. We've been getting a lot off our chest. But let's talk about it. Let's everybody go around the room. Let's talk about some music that we know JayZ is involved with when it comes to these two particular guys. We could start with The Blueprint. We could start with the Black Album. We could start with American Gangster. There's a bunch of projects we could talk about. That's just Kanye and JayZ. If you want to talk about Pharrell, same projects, same involvement, and you also have R&B tracks like Frontin'.
Yeah, that Frontin' one, man. I love that, man.
I mean, like I said, the thing is, this is a rare thing most of the time, because we're usually pretty specific around here, but I'm leaving it sort of open for discussion. To go ahead and say, who do you guys think had the better records with JayZ? And like I said, don't be scared to mention a record that you maybe want to hear or you're a fan of, or if you want to just shit on, whatever you feel like, we'll play it for you right now. What records do you guys want to discuss with JayZ?
Now, are you saying just as producers, or are you saying as them rhyming on it, just anything with JayZ and then period, right?
We're basically talking production, but if they happen to rhyme on the track, like if you want to talk about Diamond, Sierra Leone, for example, they're both on it. But yeah, it's honestly like whatever. This one's very open only because these two gentlemen, like I said, come to the table with just a lot more than I rap and I produce. It's so much wider than that. Their net, right? So like I said, this is an opportunity where you can stand on whatever hill you like. If it's the rapping, so be it. Like I said, we're kind of based on production, but if you want to stand on a rhyming hill, then like I said, so be it. But we're gonna discuss all that throughout the night. Believe that. But for now, Ike, is there a particular JayZ record that you want to discuss at the moment? This way or this way?
I'm that's because I voted for West, but when we say collaborations, that Frontin' record, I love that record because I think the vibe of that record at the time was unexpected to hear Pharrell on some R&B shit on it, and then like I know I always wanted to be a New York dude doing that little Pharrell $1 boy club bop in that video, you know what I mean, somewhere in VA. So like just and that's not their biggest. You know what I'm saying? But it's just one of. So it's kind of hard because Kanye West, I didn't like the record. But H to the Izzo was a huge record for JayZ. Huge record for JayZ, and that was
the whole Cameron beef right there.
You know what I mean? So, like, damn, there's somebody to decide from. Somebody's gonna have to listen. DJs, you're gonna have to come up with a couple of names or something, records or something.
H to the Izzo. You also brought up, what was the other record you brought up? I'm sorry, you brought up
Frontin'.
Frontin'.
Yeah, you got Frontin' from Pharrell. I Just Want to Love You from Pharrell. Excuse Me, Miss. Change Clothes.
Excuse me, Miss. Excuse me, Miss.
Play that right now. Thank you, Hobo.
Excuse me, Miss.
If you give us some more recent shit, the ape shit joint is crazy.
Which one is this? You say?
Oh, ape shit. On
what album is that on?
The Carter's album. Oh, there she is.
Oh. Uh-oh.
Before we play,
hey, what up?
We got special guests in the building. Like I said, longtime EBR, Who Do You Got alumni, the homie Pindy in the building, Phenomenal P.
Hey.
How y'all doing? You know,
hey, what's going on, P? How you doing?
What up, P?
Mom life first. So
I'm getting ready to play a little bit of music. We're on round number 1, but before we even start round number 1, which we're about to start, which we're kind of discussing, I need to ask you off the bat. Again, for those who don't know, like I said, Phenomenal P, longtime EBR alumni, always represents. P, we're talking Kanye West versus Pharrell. We're talking at the moment a particular topic, but before I tell you the topic, I need to know off the bat, when we're talking about those two icons, who do you got?
it's hard because it's hard to say that I got Kanye
Oh,
don't say it. So don't say it.
It's hard to say because I've been listening to Otis came on in the car with my 24-year-old sister in the car with me. And so I'm like, every word, right? With the,
what was the reaction?
And she was familiar but didn't know the song. And I'm like,
yeah, she's probably like 14 when that comes out. Like, I know
I was like, I gotta teach the youth them. So then we went and listened to the whole Watch the Throne album, and it made me think about Jay, who is my goal in terms of rap. Kanye really stood, which is something I never saw for him. So on top of the production of songs like Lift Off, like that whole project, beyond the whole what a time to be alive, I was all the way outside factor for me that builds the nostalgia that makes it amazing. Like that album, and I was telling her, I was like, certain things you can't hear on this song, you have to listen in headphones. But I'm literally like going through the album with her. So I'm like, damn.
Yeah, but who you got though?
Kanye, no, because on his own work, you can hear the perfectionism. I think Pharrell is extremely talented.
That Otis record was horrible, though. I hated that Otis record. I hated that Otis record. Wow. I hated that. Yo.
I'm gonna stop right here because I'm gonna present. I'm gonna represent round number one to Phenomenal P, so she can understand what's up. I'm gonna repeat the round number one setup for Phenomenal P. I gotta keep saying Phenomenal P because if I say P, I'm thinking about Pharrell. So Phenomenal P, you addressed the room. Like I said, you came right in time. It's no coincidence both these guys, legends, work with legendary type artists. Who had the better JayZ relationship / collab / records, whatever hill you want to stand on? And we're not mentioning any record system. Usually I'll give you a record versus another record. This is open to conversation right now. And like I said, we started out with a couple of records mentioned Mike real quick. I was going to play this real fast. A little bit of Pharrell with Jigga with a record called Excuse Me Miss.
You can't roll a blunt to this one. You
can't roll a blunt to this one.
You gotta roll a J, baby.
That's the J.
You gotta roll a J. Yeah, that's why. I don't even have to think about what Triple C feels about this record. You know what I'm saying? I already know where it's at. This ain't the R&B thug, and this ain't the thug loving that he like. You know what I mean?
Too smooth. You already know what it's hitting for.
That's too smooth, but that's so smooth though. Like that was a record that you heard, and you're waiting to hear R&B, and then JayZ was on it. It was like. And then even at the end of the record, he was like, yo, before I jump out the elevator, what's your name? Excuse me? Yeah, that's a dope record.
Great holla record. Like there's always been holla records over the course of music. The Way You Making Me Feel was a holla record. And you're right, it usually is more so R&B. But even, and I think y'all talked about this, the wanna touch one of this, wanna be with you. Like there's a holler in that too.
Yeah.
There's a holler story in How's It Go Down. Like a lot of that holler part is just such a true experience for the man and the woman. I feel like there's very few records that have that component that don't hit.
I think it was just to see JayZ do it in that style, that way.
Got us on our grown man shit around that time. We were putting on our button downs.
Yeah. You had to put your buttons on. You had to put your button ups on.
That was a transition JayZ. That was a transition JayZ. So how dope?
So you say Pharrell brought that out of JayZ, right?
I mean, they both hang around the $1 billion.
Added to it. I got to say the music added to it. I mean, not to totally shit on the man when he's down. Kanye's a little down right now. Kanye's not up right now. Kanye's down right now. He's wilding.
Well, that's why I asked if it was the old Ye or the new Ye. You got to
break up with her current guy.
I'm just saying, like, for me, the Pharrell JayZ hookup is magic, and I don't recall the situation and where they met. I can't say the same thing for Kanye.
Well, Kanye has I think a wider range of music with JayZ than Pharrell does.
He has more
and that
music.
Speaks volumes.
He has more music.
Yes, he has more music, but I'm talking about Triple C said it best that Pharrell brought that grown man out of JayZ's music, right? I think Kanye has that and other stuff as far as range and style wise, not just the consumption amount of music.
Are you gonna deny this?
Yo, this record is so bad, bro. This record is horrible, man.
They were so good together, they made an album.
This record is so hard. Yeah, this record right here. It's the loop of the sample that original record. If you're a producer, you're digging through Otis Redding. Otis Redding. There's so many parts that you could sample from that record alone or from his catalog and just loop. And when he picked that part of the record to leave as the loop, I was like, that's.
When that record came, I disagree because when that record came out, there's a dude, shout out to him, Damu Fudge Monk. If you don't know him, check him out. He made a remix to that song with that same sample and freaked it. Way better than
and it's way fire. So if you know that original record like that and you hear it, no, you're like, that's the most cheapest part of it.
It's lazy. You should have picked another record.
Lazy.
That beat that you said the dude did the remix. So can you post that so we can hear it?
Yeah, I'll find it, but I'll post it for sure.
Breeze. There's so many different parts of that record that he looped that are so much hotter. That would have sounded so much better. So the reaction I felt that people were getting from that, it was just the fact that kind of underground hip hop style was being done because he wasn't hearing that on something JayZ would necessarily rhyme on. And then it was just them with a big ass American flag in the video and the car and the Benz on fire. I was like, what?
Well, the video was, I completely disagree with most of what you said. It was just
that's why we talking.
But at the end of the day, the fact of the matter is, by that time, Jay had done pretty much every subgenre, touched on different things, been in the studio, have influenced like in a whole bunch of different areas. So when we want to talk about true different levels, I think the piece of that record and the reason that hits differently is because it's where the beat breaks on Otis Redding. It stops. And when you listen to live version, so my mom is one of the biggest Otis Redding fans to ever walk this earth. So not only do I have number of originals and we've grown up listening to it, but when I hear songs like Try a Little Tenderness, I hear 3 different live versions in my head. Because there's a specific one that's on a Stax record where he does the song, but he speeds the whole thing up. Stax was the label that he was on. And he speeds the whole things up. And he does that part, but he actually repeats it more than once. And apparently Otis Redding himself, and apparently he used to do that in performances. But the fact that the music breaks and it's just the drums with the got to na 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 got to.
So you just
but let's be clear, those are Q-Tip's drums.
What?
Known to steal. He's open about it. He steals drums all the time. Like
everybody does.
Q-Tip helped him. No, was it Q-Tip or P Rock that helped him make that record? I forget which one it was.
I think it might have been Pete. I think it might have been Pete.
I think it was Pete, but that wasn't solely him on that. So you should have picked another.
Like I just feel there's a better part. I feel like just there's better parts. That beat could have been better.
That it was good. Now it's like, it's only good because it was somebody else. The record was fucking good.
It was all right. It was mid-grade. It was mid-grade.
I never liked
Reggie.
Like
I said last week, it's the Reggie Miller.
Don't do that, man. Don't do that. Listen, Pete, you're saying what you're saying, but can you give me an example of maybe something to play right now for the hill that you want to stand on? Because I feel like you're kind of on the Kanye side of things. But
in terms of Jay, I'm definitely on the Kanye side because I feel like overall he gave
Is there an example in this? Because these guys are standing on it. I mean, Ike, I'm assuming you also are going Pharrell on this as well as Hobo.
I forget offhand by how much. Like, can you name some joints Kanye did with JayZ?
Yeah, like
Otis.
Like
I mean, that's a
niggas in Paris. Never change.
The top of my head.
Earlier stuff.
Izzo, you got Takeover. You got
Takeover was a dope record.
I Never Change.
Guess Who's Back? Even though that's a Scarface.
I was gonna play that, honestly. I was about to play that in a few minutes.
That's a Scarface joint. And Never Change is an old Kanye beat that he used on one of his albums. Like, you have
a rebuttal for everything, is it?
Yeah, that's right.
Look at his sweatshirt.
You know he's sweating in that shirt.
Right here, all right.
Lucifer? Y'all gonna front on Lucifer?
insane. Hold on, I gotta play a little bit of Lucifer.
Lucifer. Nah, I think Lucifer was a fire record.
Yes.
Lucifer was a fire record. Nah, Lucifer was a fire record. I'm trying to think. Yeah, no, that was a fire record. I'm trying
That's a fire record. That's a fire record for sure.
I'm trying to think of it, but see, I think that's what makes the question so difficult, because they do have so many dope tracks with JayZ, both of them as producers, and I feel like I'm doing a disrespect right now. I feel like I should have had a piece of paper like Jules, you know what I mean, and with a list of names, because I know there's a Kanye West and JayZ record that I'm missing right now.
Well, that's what about it. So I was gonna say, right now, like we played records from both producers with Jay. I know your stance, and you even mentioned a couple of records. Hope I know your stance already because you mentioned it, but you still haven't given us a record. Like, is there a particular record you think where that Pharrell and Jay, like, you know what I'm saying, just kind of destroy it?
I didn't give you records. Did me saying?
I mean, but okay, my bad. Can you give us a few more then?
I just want to love you.
Okay, let's do that. Let's
It's
give it.
funny because a lot of the Pharrell ones you're talking about are real popish. They don't hit in the set. Like I don't know. That's
So
just
Lore? Like, what about Lore?
So Black Moses said, what is it, Rock Boys?
Rock Boys in the house
That's
tonight.
fine,
That's
right?
a dope record. That's a really dope record. Yeah, oh yeah, that's a really dope record. See, that's it. That's a huge record. That's West.
I just want you to know.
No, that's Pharrell. See that's what I'm saying. Like, we didn't even mention that, right?
Was that?
You could play.
I'm gonna play this only because she brought up. So you got Pharrell, like you mentioned, giving the real party joints, right? But Ye be giving you the party joints, and he be giving you them.
That's what I was saying before. Thank you very much. Somebody just wanted to be biased when I was saying it before.
who was being biased? Me?
No, not you.
Oh,
He
okay.
knows. The man with the sweatshirt. The man with the sweatshirt knows who he is.
That's Scarface record. That don't count. That's Scarface record.
But that's on the album. No, I'll let you have that.
You have to. Like, he produced the record.
The Black albums.
What about I Know from Pharrell? What about that joint?
Hola. He got a point. Hold on.
That was a good one. That was a real good one.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Yeah, that's a real good one.
Oh, yeah.
I know what you like. I know what you like.
You see, like, there's an entirely different vibe, and you know the vibe you're getting when he's rocking with Pharrell. You know what I'm saying? I think that's just a later version of JayZ. I think, you know what? Put my vote down for Kanye West in this one, because I think if you're saying who has what better, I think
With Jay specifically.
Yeah, with Jay specifically, I think there's more, without even off the top of my head, because of the history, because of what DJ Hobo said before, the history, and they have so many records. There's a lot of early JayZ records that probably set him to that point to where he could do these, cleaned up records with Pharrell. So I'm gonna have to vote. West in this one.
Going Kanye West, first person to put. Well, actually, second person to put their vote down. Hobo gave his first for Pharrell. Pete, you were talking. I mean, is
and Jay, as like, I think the other part of it is Kanye's energy has always been, like I said, this little brother shit when it comes to that. I mean, they had the song, which is not one of my favorites, the Big Brother song, but nonetheless, they had that energy together. So I feel like Kanye was always trying to impress JayZ in a very specific way. So you get a range. Well, it's like, if you don't like me like this, how about like this? If you don't like it like
this, yep.
Kanye artist, and his style flipped 4 times within his first, between College Dropout and My Beautiful Blah Da.
My man Malcolm 10 said Kanye's favorite producer is Pharrell. I think that's a true statement too, actually.
That fun fact.
No, and that's nice, but that's not a cheat code. I see what you're doing, Hobo, but that's not a cheat code.
Can I just say something real quick? I think
I gotta listen. Go ahead.
I think it's interesting what Hobo just said. I mean, Kanye has an idol, right? He looks up to, and it was Pharrell, or is Pharrell. And he has right to, because like I said, yeah, but listen, for all the Kanye praise we're giving, and we're giving both to each side, but let's be clear. And I'm asking you guys real quick, just because we're on the subject of, like I said, JayZ records specifically with both these guys, but does Kanye and Jay have anything like this?
Nope. Nope. They sure don't.
They're showing up at weddings.
Right.
This is my shit. This is my shit.
Go.
That's my
It
shit.
is.
That's my shit, bro. Like,
And
I'm telling you,
I'm
I'll be
like,
in the club. I'll be in the club on my real Tupac shit with the Hennessy. I'll be like,
but he's
You stepping, doing old moves.
I make sure my hat is to the back at that point. You know what I mean? Bring the Pac out.
listen. Like I said, does Ye and Jay have that? Is it Otis? Is that their reply to a record like that? If it's a real life versus like what record is up against a frontin' record?
Nothing.
No, like that would be, but it's a Jay feature, but it's known as a Jay song. When you hear that song in the club, you don't make it past Jay. Let's be honest.
The beauty of it doesn't
Diamonds,
matter.
right?
It's just really about the relationship between JayZ being featured on either a Kanye feature situation, and same thing with Pharrell on that situation. It just so happens this one, Pharrell produced it and he's on it. There's lots of situations like that with Kanye and JayZ.
So would you say that JayZ and Kanye would be a better mesh than Pharrell and Jay? If you look at JayZ and Kanye raps, so they kind of go back and forth. Pharrell is more of a hook guy when it comes to JayZ.
I think you're right. He does play his, but it's just he does fall back.
Why it ends up
So it's like
Pharrell's not a rapper.
yeah.
He might tell you differently.
Pharrell's a producer.
I mean,
that's what makes the front record even doper. You're like, oh, this little dude is singing.
He rap on. He rap on.
raps. Yeah, he raps on.
He raps, but he is not a rapper.
Yeah.
Kanye refers to himself as a rapper.
He is.
Fair enough. It's true. No, what he's saying is true. I've never heard Pharrell refer to himself as a rapper. Where I have heard Kanye be like, I'm a fucking rapper.
So I would say
That's like calling Kanye a singer because he has his auto-tune moments and whatever else.
Yeah, nah.
But you still could call him a singer when you find out that most people use. Most people use them.
I'm gonna put my vote in because I don't think anybody. So I'm gonna go with Kanye and JayZ on this. And Hobo is shaking his head. It's okay. Next.
Listen, Trip.
Yeah,
You-
I just
you-
want to say Kanye because I want to get off the subject. I want to move on.
Fair enough. With
Have we
the
been
room,
rambling, Triple C?
Triple C is tired of talking about it.
P. This is one again. You're a reoccurring EBR guest. You know how this goes. I don't think you've actually fallen into this part of the battle. But welcome to your first time of your vote not meaning anything around here.
She voted already.
She
voted?
Yeah, I voted Kanye.
She voted for
All the time.
Kanye.
Oh man, I was ready to show you right now. To the damn, like, I was so looking forward to it right now. Ooh.
Like 3 times already.
So Trip, your vote didn't mean shit, but it's okay. You got it in there. So you got it. But
that vote right there had to be the best one I've ever seen.
But real quick, we decided again tonight's topic again when we talk about who do you got? We decided to put Kanye West versus Pharrell Williams. Deciding the first round should be set off with none other than JayZ, the Jehovah, aka Iceberg Slim, setting it off as the sort of connect the dot liaison between both guys. In other words, who had the better JayZ records? But it looks like most of the room sort of led one side, not completely, but most of the room decided to go with JayZ's relationship with Kanye West. So this officially putting Kanye West on the board at a 1-0 score right now. Ye in the building, putting on the board. We're officially moving on to round number 2. Don't forget we do this every Monday night live on Twitch, 8 p.m. live Eastern Standard Time, and new episodes dropping on YouTube. Eats, Beats, and Rhymes. One word. Check that out, guys.
I just want to say, don't forget Allure as well.
I brought it up. Nobody said anything when I brought it up because I think someone was talking about how the seriousness of Pharrell, and I was like, Allure kind of does that for me, where it's like it's not party.
I'll take that. That is a strong, life-changing record. So yes, go 100% with that one. Allure is
Allure's crazy.
Oh my God.
Yeah, we're lucky we have to see the footage. I mean, if you could find it online of him letting Jay know, like I got the song for you. And this is when the Black Album was supposed to be the last album. And
Yeah.
I got like the final song, like the last song that I got it for you. And they show him like, you know, doing that producer dance. You know, you hear this shit that I made for you. That kind of, and it's like, it was kind of good. That's the Allure record.